Spoilers.
Well, I'm surprised that this turned out to be pretty good, better than I thought, especially who is involved with this and, some of the people that are behind this. And the thing about it is, Netflix has been, okay, I would have to say, I can't say 50-50. I think it's more in the direction that they've been doing a little bit better than what people have been saying as far as anime. Yes, they've had some bad stuff out there, but they've had a lot of good stuff as well. I mean, they have a mixture. They have anime and animation both in there. And I know they want to stretch out because basically, when you have a lot of other companies, you have like Paramount Plus that just came out, and you have Peacock and Apple TV and all that, and they're trying to get all their programming on there. And they're making it harder for companies like Netflix and Hulu to get programming. You look into when you have Netflix, who's been out for pretty much a long time, that they're creating their own stuff, and they're working with some companies directly, like Toho Studios, Orange, Bones, and in this case, they're working with Polygon Pictures and Legendary Television. If you're not familiar with Legendary Television, Godzilla versus King Kong, the movie division of that company. We got here Pacific Rim The Black. Now, normally when you get an animated version of a series, something that famous IP that that you've seen it before. I mean, you've touted 2 other live action movies of Pacific Rim, which basically, when you get to an animated version, doesn't jive with the movies or TV series. A perfect example, Stargate, the TV series, Conan, a couple of others that just, didn't jive against the movies themselves. Even the Rambo series, animated, doesn't jive well toward what the movies were. But in this case, Pacific Rim The Black is, I would have to say, concerning after seeing it was 7 episodes. It is a sort of sequel to the other 2 movies. And the reason is that it is the threat is still the same. The creatures are pretty much the same with some differences, some newer ones that are added and designs and stuff like that. And also a mention to one of the previous films, Uprising. Uprising is mentioned in this anime. Now, understand, the main premise of this, they don't tell you exactly how long it's been since the last movie, really. Unless I miss it, I'm going to have to go back again and look at that, but I didn't see anything of that nature. It said, set in the far future, a race of monsters, the kaiju, arise from the Pacific Rim and overrun the continent of Australia. Now, this takes place in Australia, as I said. They build Jaegers to fight the monsters. Obviously, you've seen that in the other 2 movies. There are 2 characters here, Taylor and Haley, and they are at the beginning of this. They are kids, and their parents are Jaeger pilots. And Australia is overrun, and basically they had to unleash something called the Black, which would basically, supposedly, tout out, allow, the creatures to be, I don't know, to be defeated or to take out the power source or whatever it is. The Black is not really delved into. You get only a glimpse on there, but I think that is part of the main plot of why the way Australia is. Is the rest of the world this way? Possibly. It's unknown. All we're getting in this from the point of view of the teenage siblings, Taylor and Haley. Their parents leave them with other people in this valley. They go off to get help, and the Jaeger and their parents does not return. And this is like the story jumps 5 years, and basically what happens is that the teens find a training Jaeger in a complex, and they basically activate it, setting off everything and attracting a kaiju, which ends up, and not to give too much, it ends up killing pretty much everybody in the settlement. And then basically they try to see if they can find someplace where they can go to try to avoid the kaijus, and to see what was going on and see if they could find their parents. Now, mostly you see like the Atlas Destroyer, you see, some other designs from the Pacific Rim movies. A lot of them are mentioned in passing. There are some changes to the Jaeger, which basically there's an artificial intelligence built into it now. So now you have like a AI computerized system that's helping them, which basically it's a nice little add-on compared to that. Some people were saying like there's a scene where he has to pilot it alone, and they'd be like, oh, no one's ever done that. But it just really, a lot of people that commented on it, they were like, oh, I didn't really like it. But that touts back to Pacific Rim 1. So you got, a little bit of each, like I said, Uprising, Pacific Rim 1, that are thrown in there. Now, from what it looks like, and as they go along, they find a young boy trapped in a facility in one of the Australian cities. And we're not certain what he is, why is he in this container? But it seems like he's a point. They call him Boy. They don't even give him a name. They just call him Boy on there. There's one other character that's added to the cast as well. She came from a settlement, May, that basically they were sort of like, I think almost the bag. I would have to say the voice is Andy McVie, who's on Sons of Anarchy. He plays Shane. They're sort of like one of the bad guys in this, besides the kaijus. And the kaijus are very detailed in this. Now, like Polygram Pictures is responsible for this with Legendary. Now, most people, they did before. They're responsible for the Ghost in the Shell movie 2 back in 2004, Knights of Sidonia, Ajin's all 3 parts, Blame, Godzilla, those 3 movies, Planet Monster, City on the Edge of Battle, Planet Eater, and the final Knights of Sidonia movie, which is coming out this year as well. And most people had a lot of critique toward the animation, especially the Godzilla stuff and the Knights of Sidonia. I enjoyed Knights of Sidonia. Unfortunately, I haven't finished it yet. So basically, hopefully by the time the next one comes out, I'll be able to jump right into that. The Godzilla, I enjoyed to a point, and people were like criticizing the animation on there. Now, understand, the animation is about similar to this, but some improvements. There are more detailed improvements. The soundtrack behind it and everything, the detail is much improved. It's closer to Castlevania, which is also the same company as well. And as far as Legendary, you're seeing the details, the helmets and stuff like that, the voice and all that. Everything fits in pretty well for this series. As far as the story, would I say the story is good? Yeah, it is. Actually, it is good. It does leave off. We're not certain if it's a villain or maybe it is someone that will assist. I mean, there is a big reveal of what Boy is. And, I mean, the fighting is excellent. The fighting is really good. And the AI sort of almost is, in some ways, comedic relief in a way. And there are a couple points that you have to laugh at what the AI says. I mean, it is a good voice. Some of the voice actors on there is Caleb Worthy. He's been on Disney, Austin and Ally, A couple of Netflix series, American Vandal, a couple and some Hulu stuff. Gideon Alden, she was known for Blockers, Mustang, Craft Legacy. She's done some also Netflix stuff as well. Erica Limbeck, she plays the AI. She's done a lot of other action as well. Of course, they do list, when you look at the action, they list who does Boy, but basically Boy doesn't really talk in this. But the cast it's a decent on there. Now, the two people that are responsible for this co-development, co-writing, is Greg Johnson is one. If you're not familiar with him, he's worked with Marvel before, with X-Men Evolutions, the animated series, and Craig Kyle, who is instrumental for creating X-23 in the Marvel Universe. And he also produced several Marvel direct-to-DVD animated films, several aspects of the Thor film series. So, you have some people in here that know what they're doing as far as IPs. You got some Marvel people in here. You got some Legendary. You got... Now, understand, it's developed by Guillermo del Toro, but I don't think he has anything behind this as well. I don't think he was on there. The direction comes from overseas directors from Japan. So it's a mixture of Japan, United States, working together. And this is what basically Netflix has been doing. They've been co-sponsoring both American and Japanese anime productions together. Whereas, you see something like was put out in Crunchyroll, the so-called, what is it, X-Arm? I think it's called X-Arm, that anime. Oh my God, it is so horrendous on there. But this is worth a look at. I mean, some people have said, I don't really like it. It got semi-pummeled on sci-fi channels, online, and some people on Twitter and stuff like that. But others have praised it, and they said it is different from what Polygon has normally put out. I will wait. I want to see a season 2. I would like to see what was season 2. This went very quick. I mean, I did this in an evening, and 7 episodes. That's not much, but it's a good start on there. And there was a lot of detail as far as the storyline, but it did go quick. And once again, I do like the kaiju look. The Jaegers are pretty much similar designs from the movies. So if you reached this part of the video, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know what you really think. If you've seen Pacific Rim: The Black, what do you think? Because I know Uprising, the movie, stunk. That was really horrendous. If we could erase Uprising and just put Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Black as far as sequels, I think that would be a better alternative. But also, don't forget, hit that subscription, hit that like, don't forget to share, hit the notification bell. You'll know when new episodes of Man with the Show air on Q2Cast TV. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.